Okay, I think that's enough. What a great piece of music. What? I always thought this was a Nickelback song, but it's actually not even Nickelback. Question number 110. Can a drumstick fall in love with a meatball? No, since neither drumstick or meatball is capable of feeling love. Yeah, that's how I feel today, man. I'm not in the mood to what do you even call that in English? Give objects personalities. Question number 111. If your piano could burp rainbow colors, how would it communicate its feelings? Well, if it could only burp rainbow colors, are we then talking about it can burp like any color of the rainbow, or it can only burp the rainbow? Well, the piano would have to somehow figure out a way to communicate with this talent of burping colors, rainbow colors. I can imagine that if it could like single out particular colors, then it could burp like blue for sad, and red for angry, and yellow for anxious, and green for disgusted. There weren't a lot of nice feelings in that little description, but yeah. Describe a saxophone arguing with a rubber duck about the importance of jazz, the history of jazz. I don't know, because I don't. This I'm missing a word here. I guess the rubber duck would be the more gullible, like childish one, and the saxophone would be like a bit too far up its own ass about how good of a jazz instrument it is. Like, oh yeah, I know everything about jazz. And rubber duck would be like, oh yeah, well, I think you're kind of cool and cute. And then it would be like the saxophone kind of just, there wouldn't be a lot of arguing, like a lot of arguments going on. It would more so be like the saxophone just describing jazz to the rubber duck. Yeah. Explaining jazz. Question number 113. So here it says, how would a triangle host a game show for sentient marshmallows? Well, if it's important to state that the marshmallows are sentient in this question, then I feel that the triangle isn't being given any attributes in any way, so it's just a triangle. And in that case, it wouldn't be able to host a game show for sentient marshmallows. So the sentient marshmallows would probably be disappointed that they came and it was just a triangle. And if one of the marshmallows was very like had the gumption to host the game show itself, then maybe that could like be the solution for this problem, but at least I know that the triangle wouldn't. Question 114. Imagine a harp developing stage fright and hiding inside a loaf of bread. What tune plays? Well, if a harp were to develop stage fright, then oh no. What was a harp built for? Originally probably to be on a stage, because I'm guessing, like wild guess, that the harp was built and like invented and built and played before the invention of recorded sound, and in that case it was built for the stage. So if a harp is developing stage fright, it is kind of going against its nature. So the harp then goes on to hide itself inside a loaf of bread. Then now we're either talking about a very tiny harp or a very big, because it's only a loaf of bread. No, a loaf is that the entire bread, or is it? I have to search this up. Loaf of bread. Like what? How much? It is an entire bread, right? The loaf. A loaf is a shaped mass of bread that is baked. Okay, yeah. So it's in the entire bread. It still has to be a very big bread in order for a entire harp, that's a big instrument, to be able to hide inside. Oh, but I'm thinking about like the big harp that goes like that, like half a heart. But I guess there's also tiny harps. So at least it still has to be like a big bread, even if it's a harp this big. I'd say no tune plays, because the harp is so like frightened and anxious, so it's not, and it's going against its own nature. It doesn't want to play today. So yeah, and that's also okay, not to always be able to like whatever. Question number 115. If a bass drum sneezed in the middle of a concerto, and then some of the question is gone, and then blah 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 blah. Let's go to question number 116. Also, we're missing a big part of the question. Question number 117. I also don't know how to. Here we go. Here is a question that I can actually read to you guys. Question number 118. How would a flute flirt with a jellyfish while producing Gregorian chants? Flute? Flirt? With a jellyfish. So it would probably be by the seaside. And I think that playing or producing the Gregorian chants would be like part of the flirting. So this question kind of answers itself by default. How would a flute flirt with a jellyfish? By. It would flirt by playing Gregorian chants. And you know, I think that could also be the way to my heart. If you came up to me and just started spitting out Gregorian chants, I'd be impressed, and I'd probably think it was cute and cool and stuff. It would leave an impression. So if anyone wants to like shoot your shot with me, one way to do it could be to sing me a Gregorian chant. Imagine question number 119. Imagine a violin that only speaks in farts. What story does it tell? I think I've answered this question, but just like where the variablerne, like the different, like then it wasn't with the violin, but it was with the flute or something like that. So I don't know. I don't speak fart, so I probably wouldn't be able to decipher the story. Question number 120. Can a rubber chicken conduct an orchestra of singing burritos? No. Question number 121. If your headphones grew legs, would they escape to the nearest bakery or moonwalk into traffic? If my headphones grew legs, we can actually do this.